Salam Malaysia Madani and Salam Sepupu. Hey, does anybody remember our favorite penunggang agama Rayyan Wong's favorite restaurant? Yeah, that's right. Restaurant Asam Pedas Botak Baru. The other day I called Rayyan a penunggang agama for claiming that the restaurant had no Sijil Halal, found a Sijil Halal, which, as it turns out, was not actually the Sijil Halal. I'm sorry guys, I was wrong. But I actually sent an email to Jakim and they were kind enough to reply, and it's official. Restaurant Asam Pedas Botak does not have a Sijil Halal. Before you click off, watch this to the end because there's more drama incoming. Alright, yes Rayyan, congratulations. You are so wonderful. Thank you for speaking the truth. You are the best adik. Not. I still think Rayyan Wong is a penunggang agama, one who was trying to exploit his religion for views, likes, and shares. And the reason for that is because of this brand new apology video that the man has released.
Geng, aku minta maaf tau pasal aku menegur kepada TMJ dan PMX makan dekat kedai yang disyaki tak halal tu. Rupanya dia ada Sijil Halal.
Well, that's interesting. Why are you apologizing because there was a Sijil Halal when what you should have apologized for is for insulting royalty? PM maybe not, and rightfully so. Rayyan, kalau betul-betul restoran tu ada Sijil Halal, kenapa Jakim cakap tak ada? So, siapa yang bohong? You ke Jakim? Let me start by pointing out that even if Rayyan told part of the truth in his video, he also lied to you. Either that or he just doesn't understand a lot about how language works. Or maybe he just doesn't understand human language.
Memang wajib untuk dilarang makan dekat tempat yang disahkan tak halal.
Not having a halal cert does not mean that the food at your restaurant is not halal. It just means, and only means, that a restaurant has not applied for a halal certification. Here are the facts though. The restaurant does have halal certification for its chicken producers, its suppliers, and that does not mean that it has a Sijil Halal from Jakim itself. And since it doesn't have a Sijil Halal from Jakim itself, it means that if you're saying to your audience that it does have a Sijil Halal, then it means that you are guilty of what we call fitnah. Or just lying if you don't like the word fitnah. There are three things that we can get depending on how we look at what Rayyan actually said to us and what he means. Now, the first of these things is that maybe Rayyan was lying, the restaurant doesn't actually have a Sijil Halal, and he is just freaking out because now he's been kecam by the Agong and also PMX, and he just wants people to drop the matter so he can go back to making his TikTok videos one after another and playing victim. I thought that he was supposed to be a hero for speaking truth to power. So why is he chickening out now, and why is he lying to the entire audience by saying that in fact there is a Sijil Halal when obviously Jakim says that it does not? What this means is it's time for you guys to find another hero. Now, the second of these things requires you to read a bit into the isi tersirat. So, when he says other Sijil Halal, he could mean that other Sijil Halal dari supplier, and as a result of that, therefore, the restaurant is okay, it has a Sijil Halal. Now, what that can mean is that there is a Sijil Halal, but it doesn't actually apply for the restaurant. So, if that is what he means, he's trying to just use confusing wording to stick to you and hope that somehow you're not going to notice. In other words, it's basically a lie, but it's a very subtle one. But the third of these things I want to talk about is probably the most interesting. Let's assume that Rayyan Wong was honest. There was no problem whatsoever with eating there. Well, yeah, like that's actually what most people think. I think most people don't go out there and immediately say, you know what, there needs to be a Sijil Halal no matter what, in every single restaurant in order for somebody who is Malay to eat there. It doesn't matter whether you have 100 or 200 likes on a comment on a random video saying that you should be eating only at places with that certification, because no, that's not how it works. I think that's exclusionary, unreasonable, and is ultimately something that is really bad for society if you keep on telling people that, you know what, you need to get away from people from other communities. You can't eat Chinese food, you can't eat Indian food because they don't want to comply with our requirements. Look, it's been said that there is no compulsion in religion. And I want to believe that. I truly do. But if you're going out there and saying that people need to follow your rules no matter what, rather than just letting people decide whether or not they want to actually go for things, then we have a bit of a problem here. I will make an exception for deceptive advertising though. Nobody should be going out there serving pork in a restaurant and then intentionally saying that, oh, this is suitable for Muslims and target Muslims along the way. Like, that's obviously horrible, and people from every community would support you in making sure that that does not happen. But as it turns out, for a lot of other people out there, when it comes to getting a certification, you're not specifically targeting people who are Muslim, you're targeting the entire community. If anybody wants to come, then they can choose to come. If they don't want to come, then that's entirely their right. By the way, let me not be understood as saying that the halal cert is a bad thing. I think it's a wonderful thing. Whether you understand it or not, non-Muslim friends, our Muslim friends have different dietary needs, and that aligns with what they believe in. But the fact is that having a state body go ahead and provide a certification that is well respected and known internationally is something that is valuable, respected, and that grants people confidence that what you're eating on a day-to-day basis is good. It's similar to a hygiene certification, except while a hygiene certification makes sure that there are no impurities or undue chemicals, a halal cert basically does the same thing, except it makes sure that food or products are halal compliant. You might not understand it, but if you're not Muslim, then you shouldn't be criticizing it and saying that it doesn't make sense. Also, the global halal market was valued at 5.7 trillion US dollars in 2021. And as one of the world leaders in halal certifications, I think that Malaysia has a huge territory to grow in right here, and it should be encouraged. But that too is not perfect. It's not one of those things where you have absolute certainty in what exactly is going on. Like, halal certifications are a human attempt at resolving a problem, which is the need for dietary certifications. Like any other certification though, it is not perfect. And that's something that you have to realize and come to terms with at the end of the day, because somewhere and out there, it has to be between you and God, and not between you and a certification body. So to you, my Amar Makruf Nahi Munkar friends, you can say that you know better because you have more knowledge of religion or anything else right there. But does everybody interpret it that way? Maybe not. But they'll find it very hard to oppose what you're saying because you seem to be the more correct one. And if they do say anything, then they'll be afraid that they'll be called out for being bad followers of religion. I think your intentions are good, but in reality though, I think that your actions have horrible consequences because they are based on buruk sangka and an overvaluation of your knowledge to the point that you think, with no justification, that you can overturn the judgment of even the rulers of the country, despite the fact that you are no mufti, no leader, and you have nothing except your opinion and your reliance on a 22-year-old accounting student. So here's a better way of looking at what happened and also the people who are going out there and breaking boundaries like this. In my opinion, you should not look at the visit to Botak Asam Pedas as leaders leading Malaysia astray, but you should look at it as uniting Malaysia, bridging its communities, and bringing us all together regardless of our religion, our race, and our food preferences. Like many of us out there, including our leaders, I believe, I think that most of us, we want a more integrated society where people can actually talk to one another, eat with one another, spend time with one another without all of the hang-ups that so many people have about people who have a different race, religion, belief, and upbringing compared to other people out there. I genuinely believe that when PMX and Agong went out there to eat at Asam Pedas Botak Baru, it was an inspirational signal. And for those of you who want to tebuk atak, come on, learn not to buruk sangka your leaders all the time. If you're not happy with the political situation with your pemerintah or whatever, that's on you. It's because you're refusing to see the good that they are bringing into the world. Many of you interpret the fact that our rulers went and ate at a restaurant without a halal certificate as an act that leads the community astray, but what is actually an inspirational act, and it's meant to lead you to start experiencing a world that is beyond your own, to start really trying to integrate with other communities, to talk with people, to try their food. If you can't try their food, then at the very least, just understand that other people out there have it between themselves and God, and it's a way for them to show their love. Now, I don't know how you feel about PMX. Some people like him, some people do not like him. But I, for one, am grateful that he is at least working hard for Malaysia and trying to do his best for the country. And I'm deeply thankful as well, by the way, that he actually went with Agong, because otherwise, a lot of you people inclined to tebuk atap like PAS, which, by the way, Rayyan is affiliated with, would make use of in order to try to destabilize Malaysia and to in turn try to bring down the Madani government. Now, on the other hand, our Agong is the first Agong to visit Singapore Parliament, to visit China in the past 10 years, and to go out there and to create a showcase of unity that is on this level. And it's something to be respected. He should not be besmirched, mocked, or criticized by those of you out there who are unable to look at things in a proper light. Integration doesn't just go one way, it goes all ways. It's nice that Rayyan Wong decided to integrate to a new Muslim community, but it is a shame that he cannot actually stand up for his religion when it actually counts.
Rupanya dia ada Sijil Halal.
And that he would mock, besmirch, and attempt to cast into doubt the leaders of our country and their attempt to actually bring Malaysians together. Shame on you, Rayyan Wong. Alright, and that's it for today's rant. Make sure to get subscribed and watch this video next. Ciao.